Hey, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of Season 3. Let's talk about that, a Union University podcast. My name is Fran Thomas, and I co-host this show alongside my good buddy, Ted Cluck. This season, we kick things off with our head basketball coach for our women's team, Mark Campbell. Coach Campbell has been around Union a long time, and y'all, he has had so much success on and off the court. And we want to dive into what that means for him as a follower of Christ and a leader on this campus. All right, you guys, sit back, enjoy the show. All right, everybody, welcome back, Ted Cluck, Season 3. Let's talk about that Union University podcast.
Hard to believe it, Fran Thomas. Good to be back with you.
Time is flying by.
Back in the old studio here. I like these confines. I'm not going to lie.
I know. It just happened to work out that Scott Lancaster was not available, so we couldn't do video. And I was like, I like coming back in here.
Dude, what if I said hypothetically, and this is purely hypothetical, I hate being on video with a white hot passion.
Okay, me too, Ted. Me too.
I don't understand, Ted. I mean, you're a good-looking man.
Thanks, baby. I appreciate it. Go on. Yeah.
Your wife would like to watch that.
What's good looking about me? I mean, we could go into some detail if you want.
It's awkward, though.
It is awkward. It is.
I feel like our best conversation is not on camera.
That's true. All that to say, we have a very special guest today in the studio. Fran Thomas, why don't you introduce our esteemed guest?
This is so fun. This is so fun for me and for Ted, for everybody. Y'all, if you
More fun for you than for me.
No, stop, hush, not true. If you know anything about Union, then I guarantee you have heard the name Mark Campbell. And you know either lots of things about him or you don't know much other than I think he has something to do with athletics. Ted and I are both big lovers of the athletic world and the community for similar different reasons. But it is a real treat. If we had an applause button, we would hit the applause button to have Mark Campbell, women's basketball coach, athletic director, Union University, in the house. Welcome to the show, Coach Campbell.
I appreciate it, you two. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Okay. Tell us, before we talk about whatever it is we're going to talk about, if people don't know who you are, give us context of who you are outside of Union and the athletic world. Who is Mark Campbell? What do you want to tell us?
Yeah, grew up in Middle Tennessee, had two parents that loved each other, loved family, grew up in the church, Baptist church, was there every Wednesday night, Sunday morning. Most of my community had to do with families in that church that I called uncles and aunts. And so I just grew up in a really rich background of what community was, product of a really rich, vulnerable, intimate environment. And so my life has been birthed out of that type of environment. And it kind of carried through into athletics. My coaches I've had, obviously coming to Union and being here for 32 years, several of those years early on, not married, single, coaching here, and then meeting Molly here when she was a student and had to ask Dr. Dockery permission to date her at that point in time when I was a GA. That's right.
Yeah, I see you.
6.5 years, man, difference.
Okay, wow.
And so we got married right when she graduated from college. Her senior year was Chuck Colson was the speaker. Awesome.
Dude, no kidding.
Awesome.
That's amazing.
It was great.
I got
he wrote
to interview
a book
him.
called The Faith that is an unbelievable book.
No, remarkable guy for sure.
And so we've been married for 27 years. We have 4 children from Gray, who's 23, who just graduated here, is the assistant golf coach. Ella, who's 21, going to be a junior. Callian just turned 16, just drove his sister to school this last week. Quite nerve-wracking.
Oh, yeah.
In his truck, which he's already washed 3 times. Yeah, and then Mia, who's 15, my wife, has homeschooled all 4 all the way through. And so my life is just, again, full of environments. My wife has been elite, as Sean Blackburn would say.
Dude, now, what about your 5th child down there in the basement? The item that you showed me last time I was over.
My cold plunge?
Yeah, the sauna and the cold plunge I kind of put together in one.
Yeah, probably more of it. Not, I mean, some people say that's vain. I think more out of the idea my dad had Alzheimer's and I'm trying to do everything I possibly can.
Man.
But Yeah, so my wife's created this unbelievable environment in our home, a safe environment for me as far as our relationship. And so I get to come to work every day, what I don't consider to be work, and be free.
Yeah, that's
Not only
right.
does the gospel present this freedom in my life, but also my relationship at home and with my wife and my kids presented as well.
That's
Something you
amazing.
said about relationality in church really struck me, because you're very relational in terms of how you do your job and how you coach and how you manage the athletic department. Talk about how that works for you in a sports context and what you feel like it gives your teams.
Yeah, I think you and I have talked about it briefly, and I talked about it at our staff meeting. And we even had Travis Wyckoff, who came and talked about it. Environments are they're everything.
Yeah.
If you watch The Chosen right now, and it's taking you through, you're just experiencing an environment with Jesus, and we get that opportunity every day. Environments produce who we are, and it's just true in every area of my life. And so, I remember telling people that when I took my kids to the hunter safety course, those of you who've taken your kids hunting, you have to go through the hunter safety course, and it talks about the progressions of a hunter. It talks about just being able to shoot.
Yeah.
Then you want to limit, kill as many as you possibly can. Then you go for a trophy, and then you have this point in time when you go for the full experience of it all, the planning of it, the eating of the food, who you're going with, seeing nature. You don't have to kill anything. You're not after anything in particular. You just have this appreciation for everything. And really, that's how I feel about coaching now.
Yeah.
In my 27th year, is that it's really enjoyable creating environment. I just came from my staff meeting. I was a little late today with Sean and Jazzy, and we're responsible for this. I mean, our hearts, who we are, overflow into everything we do as coaches. Whether I'm a father or husband, I'm responsible for this with my wife. I'm responsible for it in my home, but the overflow is the environment we create.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
That is, man, I just love getting to know each individual and where they came from, their context, why they are the way they are, whether it's because God created in the womb and then there were some additional layers added through the experiences they've had. How can we get them to the point where they see rightly the gospel, and then just pray, man, God would open their eyes, their spiritual eyes and ears, and be able to understand who he is.
Man, I feel like Sean and Jazzy are both elite environment creators. You know what I mean? Jazzy,
great.
I had in class. She was incredible for the classroom environment. Sean, I remember meeting on a recruiting visit. He brought a student athlete perspective over to Jennings, and we immediately hit it off. You know, he's a great in the room guy as well. So I feel like you're gonna have good vibes this season with those two at the helm.
Yeah, again, one of the things that when you are trying to lead or you're responsible, I mean, everything comes to the surface.
Yeah.
And what we do is we find out whether we have his nature in us or we have our nature. And homeschooling has done that for my wife. You know, she said nothing sanctified her more than teaching her kids and being able to experience each other fully. And so that's what athletics provides, this unbelievable doorway.
Yes.
The older I get, this idea of doorways that I was unaware of, that God presents us. Well, coaching, there might be people that disagree. Other than being a parent, coaching is the biggest doorway, the widest doorway into a soul, if we take advantage of it.
I would agree.
This is so good. This is so beautiful. Let me ask you a question. And I am so curious how you approach every single season with a new team, okay? Because you're not going to have the same team 2 years in a row, the exact same team.
Listen, if things go well this year, we could have them 3 years in a row.
Oh my gosh!
Team,
Okay,
which is crazy.
That is crazy because it does feel like every couple of years it's a new set of people. And as you have what you have that currently exists, you're also out here thinking about who's exiting and who am I bringing in
all the time.
So that culture, that environment is always changing to a degree. Okay, so when we think about the people and the places in the environment, Ted and I are not athletic coaches, but when we think about the people that we are doing life with, that we're in community with, that we're trying to navigate and consider, who are we letting in and who is going out? How mindful are you in the process of who is coming in? Like, are you you're not just looking at their basketball talent, you're also considering the whole person and who they are and what they're going to bring to this culture, this environment that you're always having to navigate. Is that hard? I just think, oh my gosh, I would feel like I'm constantly putting a puzzle together, and I hope that all the pieces fit. And what if I got it wrong? Or what if dynamically, whether you're talking about athletically, spiritually, academically, relationally, just the whole person, what if it just starts to get hard and it's, I don't want to say it's not working, but maybe it's a greater challenge than you anticipated. How do you maneuver through this constant need to have to put this puzzle together? How do you navigate that? Because listen, I'm not stuck with outside of my family and, my work people, but even my work people I'm not with at the level that you're with people, and we're not engaged in that type of constant, hard, challenging relationship. How do you navigate that?
Well, so I'll start with this, that Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, the very first thing he says is, God, blessed are those who recognize their need for me. So it's out of poverty, right, that we actually understand the gospel. And that poverty is nothing in this world will satisfy. So I don't ever go in with this expectation things are going great. In fact, I actually look forward to the crisis. I look forward to things not moving smoothly, because it was exactly what it was created to be. It's not going to solve it. We could go through the whole year with having no relational problems, beat everybody by 40 points, and win the national championship. And at the end of it, they're going to think, well, this is it?
Yeah.
So why would I want it to be smooth? The second thing I would say is that, and I tell the girls this story every year, my wife and I were married early on, and we couldn't afford a level 9 fabric for our couches we were ordering. So
that's a nice level.
That level 9 probably costs 4 times as much as the level 1. So we had to decide, what kind of fabric we could. And I remember we got this Chase Ottoman, the kind that 2 people could sit on.
Yeah, love seat.
And it looked great. It looked great. We decided that we were going to get a level 1 fabric.
No, not a 1, dude.
Yeah, that's what we could afford.
That's a bit of a deal.
We're trying to save Molly's salary at being a kindergarten teacher and live off only what I was doing.
Was level 1 just like sandpaper?
Well, it looked good. It looked good. But at the end of the first year, it had that little, first of all, the chair had the shape of your rear end sitting in it was there. And it was starting to wear out. And almost so much so that as it was weaved in, you could see beneath it. And we got exactly what we paid for. And so a perfect year would produce that amount of fabric. Yeah. And so what I've understood is so the longer Molly and I are married, there's more things we go through, which adds more threads and weaves to the fabric that makes it more durable. And so as we go through a year, what I used to dread, confrontations, uncomfortable moments, I just look at as opportunities to build more weaving of fabric, so that when the tough stuff comes, we've worked through it, we know how it, and we know each other, we trust each other in the midst of understanding we're going to let each other down. Yeah. And so I actually, if you look back through your life spiritually, you can look through these things you've been through with the Lord, where he's come through. It might not have gone exactly like you wanted it to, you might not have felt, but in the end, he's grabbed a hold of it, he's had you in his hand the whole time. That there's this trust there. And ultimately what we're trying to do is produce an atmosphere and an environment where there's trust.
Absolutely.
And I'm willing to get to trust no matter what. Yeah. How can I prove it? And one of those might be saying, hey, will you forgive me? I did this wrong. And then they say, I'll forgive you. Man, we just not only did a fabric, we kind of did 4 layers real quick. Yeah. Because once you do that, you get to this love that's Philadelphia love, where it's a family type love, a brotherly, sisterly affection, where you can sit down at dinner together, even though maybe you got upset with each other 5 minutes earlier, and you can smile and laugh about the day. And so in order to do that, I think you have to recruit people that have soft hearts. And so I think it's really important for us how people act with their parents, It's not important to me that they've been perfect the other places they've been.
Sure.
It's not important to me that they might have an area of their life they struggle with and want redemption from it.
Yeah.
Like those things, what you think of me if I sign somebody that, made a bad mistake at their previous institution, and yet we met with this person, their family, and there was a soft heart, and maybe the environment produced this in them, then I feel a total freedom to say, I think if we can get to the point where she trusts us and we trust her, she'll understand the gospel.
Oh,
and so it makes
amen.
sense. Now, at the same time, if you bring in everybody that's been in trouble, then you've just destroyed the environment as well. So knowing the balance of all that stuff's really important. But I look forward to the year when two girls don't get along. One spoke when they shouldn't have. The other one talked behind somebody's back, and to bring them in and say, and we'll do this. We'll do this at our first meeting. So we'll do it in second week of September. We'll have a little retreat. Gotten to the point where I don't have to go anywhere and spend a lot of money to have a retreat. We can go in Harvey Hall, and they can be divided up and have pieces of paper where they write out what, beginning with the end in mind, having an idea of what they want it to look like, and then maybe taking them through some scenarios that are going to happen throughout the year and how we're going to handle them. And if we handle it this way, this is not the ideal. And so last year, Jazzy was one of our leaders, our main leader vocally. And those pieces of paper were up on our back wall of our locker room the entire year. And when we had our banquet at the end of the year, I got to tape them up to my mantle at my house so they could look at what they put down and ask them, did these things come true? And was it perfection that generated that? Or was it actually conflict, circumstances? Because I actually believe what makes marriage great is not the absence of hard things.
Right.
Yeah.
It's actually working through them together and choosing someone other than yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
And when two people do that, there's so much fabric, and then that oneness the Lord talks about in the Bible, that happens. It's something that happens over a period of time that actually is worth something. And there's a fullness in that. And if you ask me what I wanted at the end of the year, is I want our girls to have a fullness of excellence in relationship and in performance and how we work through problems and trust and their memories are all good because the environment's good. They don't even remember the hard days. They remember all the good things and how they were blessed in some way, encouraged to be who God created them to be.
That's right. Mark, can you, for the benefit of the faculty, you and I work together. I'm faculty athletics representative, so we get to work closely together on things. Can you explain how Division II athletics work? It occurred to me the other day, I was writing up a document for our kind of shared work. And in the document, I just started explaining the differences between D3, NAI, Division II. We're taking on X number of new faculty every year. And I think, because of the uniqueness of Union, being smaller, being relational, being Baptist, there sometimes isn't a great understanding on the faculty side of how Division II athletics works. So if you had to explain it in a couple of paragraphs, what would it be?
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably have to get ChatGPT to make it a couple paragraphs.
There you go. Like my students then.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing for me is there's this balance of life. If you explain the difference between a Division I athlete and a Division II, Division II athlete, Dave and I, with basketball, are coming up with our practice schedule based on the academic schedule of our athletes.
That's right.
So I'll look at it and we determine, no matter how much I hate it, on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we can't practice till 5.
Sure.
Because our girls don't get out of class or labs until a certain day. Yeah. And so we're tasked with these 20 hours we get a week. Yeah. To be able to, and I think we averaged last year 16. So we didn't even use all of our hours. Wow. And we want them to be effective in all things. So we live in a community here where I think there are a lot of people on our campus, and people are so ungrateful for Union. Working at Union, being around people of like-minded faith, people who really care. Imperfections everywhere, just like I talked about a minute ago. Yeah. But do we take those imperfections and kind of talk about them and make them worse? Or we realize that this wasn't made to be perfect? I mean, we're supposed to be dependent upon the Lord. And so this place, has allowed us to be able to have athletics and try to do it effectively. But it is obvious that that's not the main goal, is for us to win conference championships.
That's
We're trying to use if you ask me the word leverage, Ted, when you hear the word leverage, what is that for you?
Oh, I mean, it's people trying to use one another to get something that they want, you know? Yeah. It's a negotiating term.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So I would tell you how we at Union see athletics. It should be a leveraging tool. There's nothing worshipped in the world more than athletics.
That's right.
I mean, I bought a new TV this weekend.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
It's about to be football season, too.
How's that sofa? Level 9 now? Are we up to 9 on that fabric? Or
the sofa?
Yeah.
It's probably a little better than 1 than it was
that
back when I was 28. But there's athletics, man. You can either let it control you, own you, it can consume you, or you can leverage it.
Yeah.
And we should be leveraging the things the world loves and using as an opportunity to share about Jesus, and not just in word, not be, hey, let me tell you about Jesus.
Yeah.
A life demonstrated. You know, I have a great example. I mean, like, we can talk about this with Jazzy from last year. I've had two people be on my team get baptized in the last 2 years. Hal Poe had Kashana Lucas in class. They had conversations. Then she's coming in my office and she's meeting people at fellowship, and there's this togetherness towards a singular mission.
Yeah.
And athletics is used for it, right? And so just like with Jazzy, she's in your class.
Yeah.
Y'all have a great relationship.
Yeah.
Ashley Blair, great relationship. She sees these people.
Yeah.
And she says, this is different than any place I've ever been.
Yes.
And I want to know what's different about that.
Man, praise God for that.
And so if you ask like what athletics should be at Union, it's not this thing where we think that it should be celebrated and we should point to ourselves and they should be making NIL money, all that stuff. It's, okay, how can we use this for what it was meant for? Is that it's never going to satisfy.
That's right.
If every person in your class makes an A and you have great relationships with them and they go out to do amazing things, you're still going to ask the same question Tom Brady did after winning 3 Super Bowl MVPs and married to a supermodel, making $130 million a year, for him to say on 60 Minutes, it has to be more than this.
Yep.
So don't we want to use the thing the world loves most? And right now, I would say those two things are sports and sex.
Indeed.
And money's all in that. Right.
Yeah.
And we want to use those things to say, we're not going to avoid those things.
Yeah.
Let's use athletics really well.
Yeah.
And so the grace we show people, the communication we show people when they are believing those things, because we're going to have athletes come on campus this year, have no idea what they've gotten into.
Yeah, that's right.
And we want to show them not, hey, this is a religious school. We want to see them as Jesus' heart towards them, his point of view towards them.
Indeed.
And so that's, if you ask me what my passion is, it's that.
Yep.
And so, I love basketball and I love athletics, but athletics is going to lose money for this institution this year.
Yeah.
But if we leverage it, we could be doing the mission better than anybody else on campus.
Listen,
Indeed.
Can we just all pause and say, Amen. Amen. Here's what I think is just so fun of the Lord. Ted and I have talked about this. I'm sure that we've talked about it. I think what's absolutely incredible, keep in mind, the one speaking here was not athletic. I didn't play on a sports team. I did not. I always am very jealous in a good, fun way. If we're talking basketball, I don't know what it's like to have the game-winning shot. I don't know what it's like to score the touchdown that sends you to the Super Bowl or whatever. I don't know that feeling as a person. But I having 3 boys, the Lord knew to give me 3 boys. I am so obsessed with athletics. Our TV never changes from ESPN. It's just on all the time. I'm at home by myself. That's what I'm watching. I'm invested to a degree in things that I really sometimes don't know anything about. Still don't know anything about soccer. Still don't know anything about hockey. But I promise you, if it's on, I'm watching it.
Sure.
Because I care. Because here's what's so wild and fun to me of the Lord. that he, the creator of all things, somehow chose, you know what? Mark Campbell, Ted Cluck, all the athletes on this campus, you are going to have the gift of this sport. You get that gift. I didn't get that gift. I don't have it. And the fact that he's going to use some crazy sport to reveal himself to us, to teach us about him, about ourselves, about this gift that he's given that we then get to leverage to use for the gospel. That's crazy to me. And it's so fun. I think that just speaks of his care for athletics. He wants us to leverage it. He wants to use that as a way to say, hey, guess what? Guess what? Yes, your academics matter. Yes, what you do for sport. Yes, what you do for extracurricular. It all matters and it all impacts your soul. But if every bit of it is being used in the right way, man, oh man, oh man, what an absolute difference we could be making as an institution, and saying to the athletic world out there that loves athletics, guess what, Tom Brady? Guess what, whoever? There is so much more than the game. It's so much more than a game. It is so much more than a game. And I just think it speaks to our creator that, you know what? It is a big deal. He does care about it. Otherwise, we wouldn't have that.
I think it's a great privilege that we get as older athletes and coaches to show them that it is a great gift, but it's a bad idol.
Yes,
right? And we do the same things in academics.
Right, absolutely.
Your 4.0 grade point average is a bad idol, right?
That's right.
Like, get a 3.5, go ding it up a little bit and have some experiences, and like learn some things, learn some process, right?
Yeah.
And I think this is something that I wish I'd been taught as a young athlete, that it's not a great idol. And what a privilege to get to do it in a place like this where we can make much of the Lord on the field, in the classroom, in the weight room, as we come and go as athletes and coaches. Yeah. Fran, do we have time for one more quick question?
I've got a quick question. You said you've been coaching for 7 years?
This will be my 32nd.
Oh,
year, so
okay. Oh, my word.
With the women.
Yeah. Okay. My gosh. That's kind of bizarre to probably say, isn't it? Like it just went so fast.
Oh, it's going to fly.
Everything is flying. Okay. So has your philosophy or your approach to coaching, do you see that changing because of generations? Like the girls that we bring in now are not the same. The world is not the same as it was 10 years ago. Or are you still like, this is who I am, this is how I coach? Or have you seen a dramatic change in, I kind of have to do some things differently because of this type of a student that we're bringing in now?
Yeah, I think I've had to change a lot over the last maybe 7 or 8 years.
Oh, wow.
And so I think I didn't know it at the time, but probably that first group that had middle school social media was a little bit more sensitive. But I would say this has been really good for me. Like the one area in my life that I feel like I act outside of who I should be is as a coach. And so over the last couple of years, I don't think that's been true. Some because of how we're playing, but I've had to really think about why I'm saying in the tone I'm saying it. Because if winning was the goal, I can do it that way. What I've learned is I don't have to do it that way because the details are what matters most. And I actually think I can get the effort from even better relationship. So it's not a fear. So I think the answer to that pretty, Napoleon. Yeah. He's on the island of Patmos. You have that story. It's not the real story, but they think it's a story. He gets interviewed about Jesus, and he says something to the idea that Charlemagne, and he mentioned this group of leaders who would die for us today. And he said, nobody. We operated out of fear, but 2,000 years later, people would die because Jesus led out of love. And so I think sometimes in my generation, the coach could yell at me. I didn't take it personally at all. And it really motivated me. Like I was going to do what he said. I didn't want to disappoint him, right? Yeah. And with me, that's fine. That's not going today. Yeah. But we might lose a world war, but it's not going in coaching.
That is true.
And so they need to know why, and they need to know I care, and I'd speak especially with females. I think they need to know. So the text messaging after a practice that they've had, am I aware that they feel like they had a bad practice? Can I text them and say, hey, I want you to know I got on you today. This is the reason why, because I see you doing this. So I have permission to call more out of them, but it's not just because I want to, because it's a power, or control, which would be every man's. If respect is what I essentially want as a man, power and control sometimes get that fake respect, but respect really is, I trust you.
Yeah, that's right.
And so I'd rather them trust me than fear me. And so that's had to change a lot, especially the last 2 or 3 years. Because there's things that, the ways in which I'm motivated by making people feel uncomfortable and then letting them sit on it overnight, that I never do anymore. That now I would consider not Christian. And at the time I didn't know. I wasn't aware that was. I was just doing my job and thinking, hey, I'm making them tougher. What I want to do is make them more resilient. Well, what made the disciples more resilient? A total trust in Jesus. So can they trust me so much that makes them more resilient instead of them fearing I'm going to be disappointed? And so that's the biggest change that's happened. And again, it goes back to, is it my nature or his? And Shanique Lucas, who is probably the last person I probably treated that way, she painted on a picture, canvas, his nature. And it's in my office. Just a reminder, because I told her, I want to apologize because my nature is the one that yells at you. I mean, it's certainly in Jesus' nature they would yell at you about that. She's not desecrating the temple. She's just not living up to what I want her to play like. Well, then that's me problem. It's not a her problem. And so I had to figure out how to get to her heart.
Well said.
Oh, this is so good. I love Back to School. As this is being recorded and released, I don't know when you'll listen to this. It's still August. This episode's going to release in August. So we're in Back to School mode. And so I don't know the girl's name. And if I did, I wouldn't call her out because that's not the point. There's an incoming women's basketball player I had a conversation with the other day. And I was like, oh my gosh, welcome to Union. I was like, I love our basketball program. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be at so many games. I said, I always love to ask the question, what are you looking forward to? But also, what are you worried about? What are you worried about? This is what she said. And I was like, oh, honey, sister, just you get ready. She goes, well, I hear that Coach Campbell likes to run his girls a lot. And I was like, yeah, sister, you about to start running. And I said, have you practiced? Have you been running over the summer? She goes, a little bit, but I'm starting to think it wasn't enough. And I was like, here we shaking his head like.
They got a conditioning program that you won. So it ain't our fault if they ain't on it. They're going to feel it. So.
Oh, so here we go. It's a new day. It's a new season. Coach Campbell, we're thankful for you. I love the heart behind how you lead. I think that's what speaks volumes, and that's what people need to know. Because if you're just looking at the game itself, you would look at that by record and say, that's phenomenal, and it is. But your heart behind the ministry of basketball, the game itself, I think is the story that we wanted to tell today. So I'm very grateful. Very grateful for you.
I'm very grateful that the Lord has sanctified me through being a coach, because that's that has moved me more than anything else, because I'm exposed in that a lot.
Well, all right, Ted.
Fran, would you say we're in mid-season podcast for level 9 podcasters?
I don't know what to call
we're getting there. Maybe level 2, level 3 at this point. But,
you like that, didn't you?
Yeah, I like that, baby.
He's going to take that with him.
I'm going to take it with me, filing it away.
All right, everybody. We appreciate you listening so much. We'll be back next time. Y'all have a great day. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. If you are ready to begin the college search process, Ted and I would love to have you visit campus. You can find the link in the show notes to schedule that visit, or simply go to uu.edu and search campus visits. We also have a fee waiver code for our listeners, so if you're ready to apply, simply type in the word TALK, all capital letters, TALK, and you do not have to pay the application fee. Make sure that you follow us On Instagram, just search, let's talk about that, a Union University podcast, and there we will be. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a show. There may be some that you need to go back and listen to simply because you missed them or you're new around here. All right, you guys, have a wonderful week. We'll see you next time.